And it's been confirmed in explosive fashion that all was not well between Harry, Meghan and their podcast paymasters Spotify, with their £15 million three-year mega deal officially coming to an abrupt end. The streaming giant has decided against commissioning a second season of the Archetype series after receiving just 12 episodes of dreary interviews with a host of woke Sussex pals. But the real knockout blow came from Spotify executive Bill Simmons in a no-holds-barred podcast of his own.
I'm going to pose this question to you. You do a lot of business deals, a lot of negotiations.
I do.
Well, let's just.
I wish I had been involved in the Meghan and Harry leave Spotify negotiation. The fucking grifters. That's the podcast we should have launched with them. I got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to try to help him with a podcast idea.
Do it.
It's one of my best stories.
Do it.
So what do you think? Very simple question. Is Spotify's top exec right to describe Harry and Meghan as effing grifters? By the way, if you don't know what that means, it's an American term which means that you're out to swindle someone, basically. It means you're a small-scale swindler. Let me know your thoughts. Email me, dan@gbnews.com. Vote in our poll at GB News on Twitter. The results shortly, but doing battle on this now. Socialite and royal expert Lady Victoria Hervey, and the journalist and broadcaster and defender of Harry and Meghan, Nina Mishkov. So, Lady V, I mean, I found this utterly extraordinary because you've been in Hollywood a long time before you moved back here.
Yeah.
And Hollywood people don't talk like that. They might backstab people behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but this is the boss of Spotify, right, in terms of podcasts. He runs the commercialisation of that business. For him to go out publicly and describe these two as effing grifters, that doesn't happen. This is huge. Their Hollywood dreams are crumbling, are they not?
Yeah, no, I was actually quite shocked when I first heard it. I was like, wow, OK, he is savage. I mean, he is literally going for the jugular here. And obviously it must have ended, so badly. I don't know how much they did get paid of the total amount, but, they feel ripped off. I mean, Spotify, obviously, they were promised the world and...
Come on, 3 years.
They did not deliver.
3 years, £15 million. And they deliver 13 half-hour episodes. It's pathetic.
And did you see how many producers were actually on?
Yeah, hundreds.
Yeah.
And now Netflix wants to pull out too.
So first, who is Lady Victoria Hervey? She's a British socialite, former It Girl, and member of the aristocracy. She's not just some online commentator. She grew up among royals, understands how the institution works, and is not afraid to speak her mind. And when she talks about Harry and Meghan, it comes from a place of someone who sees the game and isn't impressed. She's called Meghan a social climber, and now she's accusing the Sussexes of dragging the royal family into a Netflix-style PR circus. Let's talk about this quote that's going viral. Meghan Markle has dragged Prince Harry into the dirt. What does that actually mean? Lady Hervey is saying that Meghan didn't just change Harry's life. She rebranded him. From war hero and royal rebel to lawsuit happy, camera ready, memoir writing victim. Remember the old Prince Harry? The guy who joked with the public, connected with veterans, and was always seen as the fun royal? Now, he's constantly defending his reputation.
So this is disastrous.
Well, we don't know. I mean, we don't know.
So that's what I've been told, Nina, and I have impeccable sources on this.
There's the Invictus Games. There's also they're going to be filming in Africa. You have no idea about the Netflix. But as
I was told by a top Hollywood source tonight, this was a conversation I had literally before we came to air. Quote me on this, I'll be proven right within a few weeks or a few months. Netflix wants to follow Spotify out the door and dump the Sussexes.
Well, why would Netflix do that?
Why are they doing that?
Why would Netflix do that? Because their Netflix series, the Sussexes Netflix series, it's very hard to say that, actually, it topped the charts for months. For months and months and months. So they've delivered for Netflix, and they are still delivering. In terms of Spotify, that guy is just trying to make a name for himself. He's got money.
Don't be ridiculous. He's already got 5 million followers. He's one of the most successful executives in American media.
And actually, to use that language, that's not the language of a professional. That's not an executive's language. It really isn't. And let me just say about their Spotify podcast, there are 12 episodes and the Christmas episode. Having said that, that was their podcast. Meghan was top People's Choice in People magazine, which is the top showbiz magazine.
Well, who cares?
People pay for that.
You cannot pay for People's Choice. That's voted for by the public. And also in the Gracie Awards, she was top entertainment podcast host.
Dove dumped her because she was lazy. And do you know what I found so interesting about this lady,
Not
Victoria?
lazy.
What I found so interesting is, you know, when I used to speak to the courtiers all the time working within the royal family, they always used to describe Harry and Meghan as entitled, as too lazy to work hard.
I don't believe that for a moment.
Now
I think that's
it's
one of
been
that for a moment.
proven by the commercial sector. Just let Lady V respond, Nina.
I think that is actually one of the reasons why, you know, she took Harry to America, because she didn't want to be that person like the royal life and going to hospitals and visiting sick children and
what
opening
about
hospitals.
Grenfell? All the good work she did there.
She wants the celebrity lifestyle. She wants the red
undercover. She did that.
Nina,
she worked so hard with those women at Grenfell.
Come on.
Accusing his own family and floating from one PR move to another. She didn't elevate him. She absorbed him. He's not a prince anymore. He's a +1 in Meghan's brand. Now, let's break down that other word Hervey used, grifters. In her view, Meghan and Harry left the monarchy. Not for peace, not for healing, but for profit. Think about it. The Oprah interview was strategic. The Netflix docuseries was carefully curated. Spare wasn't just a memoir, it was a branding tool. And now we've got Meghan's latest rebrand, American Riviera Orchard, a luxury lifestyle brand dropped with zero substance, just slow-motion lemon picking and vintage kitchen b-roll. Lady Hervey is saying this isn't a coincidence. It's a hustle. Royal titles in one hand, influencer-level branding in the other. And Harry? She says he's either in on it or completely under her thumb. Let's be honest. Harry has changed. This is no longer the cheeky, relatable, people's prince that the public adored.
If they had done a good job and they'd worked hard for Spotify, Spotify wouldn't have just done them. Do you not accept that your heroes, Harry and Meghan, are just allergic to hard work?
They are not my heroes. They are not allergic to hard work. I don't think if you looked at what Harry has achieved in his life and his hard work in the army, he is not
What's
a
he
shirker.
achieved the past 3 years since moving to Los Angeles?
He has achieved a lot. He's achieved...
What's he achieved over the past 3 years?
What about his Invictus Games?
No, I'm not talking about that.
No.
He did that when he was in the royal family. Nina, name me one thing that Harry has achieved in the past 3 years since moving to Hollywood.
Life.
So he's achieved nothing for the public.
No, he's
achieved nothing for the public, and that's why he said he was moving.
Millions also for his from his book. He's given a load of money from his book.
So he's made money for himself.
And he's made money from himself. Well, he has to have... you deny that he should be able to make his own money?
No, but
he has to make his own money. Otherwise, you'd say he's sponging off...
I've done for public service over the past 3 years.
He has worked very hard on their charities.
I'm glad you agree with me. They're about one thing.
No, not one thing. I don't.
The moolah. The greenback Lady V. That's what this is about, Lady V.
No, it's not.
What am I
it's
saying
absolutely
here?
not. And I have to say...
Okay, Nina, just let Lady V respond.
So what do you want me to say on it?
Well, haven't they proven they're all about money?
What has he done? I mean, look, he has... although the book, you know, a lot of people didn't really like the book, but he obviously did make money from the book, right?
You would disagree with millions of people around the world. It's the biggest-selling non-fiction book in history.
Just let Lady V make her point.
But she has dragged him into the dirt. You know, people loved Prince Harry before.
She hasn't dragged him into the dirt. She has not.
And, you know, he's just followed her into it willfully.
She has helped him to extricate himself from a toxic situation in this country. I'd like to go back to Spotify on the podcast.
This is a man who wrote about private fights with his brother, detailed frostbite on his private parts, took shots at the Queen Consort, and sued the British government over his own security. Lady Hervey and a growing number of critics believe Harry is no longer acting like a royal. He's acting like a celebrity with a grudge. And she's blaming Meghan for this dissent, not just for changing his image, but for making him complicit in a massive PR machine that's running on drama. And here's the part that matters most. The public? They're turning. Poll after poll in the UK shows the Sussexes have lost trust. Spotify dumped their podcast. Netflix isn't delivering the numbers. And even US audiences are starting to tune out. People are realizing this isn't about truth. It's about branding. It's about control. And it's about fame. Lady Hervey's point? You can't walk away from the monarchy, trash it on global television, and then turn around and sell jam jars under the title Duchess. That's not royalty. That's marketing. So, is Lady Victoria Hervey just being harsh, or is she calling it exactly like it is? Because let's face it.
Because the Obamas had a contract.
Yeah, and that was cancelled as well.
They are very happy with Audible. And I bet you very soon that Harry and Meghan will be with Audible or whoever
but
else.
Lady V,
and
this has damaged Harry and Meghan, though, because when you have a big company like Spotify describing them as effing grifters.
Having an exec like this coming out and calling them a grifter.
Obviously,
is
a repulsive
like, that is a very negative thing that is going to probably have a very negative spin on things. With also like her representation.
Do you know what I mean? It's astonishing to me that you can't just admit they're lazy. They're afraid of hard work. They expected to go over there and make tens of millions simply by virtue of who they are. And you know what Hollywood is like? Lady V will tell you this. Hollywood is all about what you're doing now. People are expected to work.
And she is about to sign a big deal with Deal.
But she's not ready for hard work.
Deal have denied that tonight. And let me just make one final point. You know, they want to be like Oprah Winfrey. They want to be like Ellen DeGeneres in the big house in Montecito, Lady V.
Right.
Well, Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres worked 5 days a week on producing the most popular talk show in America. In Hollywood, you have to graft in order to achieve your billions.
Just by seeing like their day-to-day, I don't know, it just seems like they just expect everything and just not putting in the work.
I don't think, I completely disagree
well, look,
with
you've got both sides of the argument there from Nina Mishkov and Lady Victoria Hervey. So who do you agree with? Are Harry and Meghan grifters? Munro writes, this is via Twitter. Oh, I'd say so. It's curious how the celebrity and business worlds are slowly turning their backs on these two. Surely that tells us something, doesn't it? Molam writes, I would say that seems to be an accurate summary. They should call them Harry Hustle and Meghan the Manipulator, the perfect trickster duo. And from Raoul, Meghan was more interested in whining on about herself than engaging actively with her guests. And your verdict is now in. 90% of you agree with that top Spotify executive Bill.
Harry and Meghan left the firm claiming they wanted privacy, peace, and healing. But what we got was Netflix specials, lawsuits, memoirs, and media manipulation. And now, Meghan's building her next brand while Harry fades into the background, silent, lost, and dragged into the dirt. Do you agree with Hervey? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the truth behind the headlines isn't coming from Buckingham Palace. It's coming from those who see through the spin. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.